To the classic handicap chase sponsored by Totesport, and Joachi, for some a horse with Cheltenham Gold Cup pretensions, was 3-1 favourite. There was solid support for Crystal Dane at 6s and for Arctic Jack at a bigger price at 8s.
They're off. Starter gets them away then for the Totesport Classic. Race 25 in the order of merit. 22 fences to jump in their 3-mile 5-furlong journey, and Crystal Dane in the yellow jacket led them over the first. Control Man in the headgear is Handy. Granite d'Estrevale between them, and on the near side the red cap of Victory Gunner as they close in quickly on the second. Control Man disputing it with Crystal Dane, the last to land. The orange jacket Dead-Eye Dick, and now disputing last place with Joachi, Timmy Murphy, keen to get that one a bit of cover at the rear of the field. So past the judge they come with 2 circuits of the Warwick track ahead of them. In the centre, Granite d'Estrevale, near side Crystal Dane, Control Man down the inner, Victory Gunner in close attendance out wide, the grey Double Honour, and the white face of Shardam Arctic Jack mid-division. So Rembrandt cuts the corner, couple lengths away to Kitten Cat, racing slightly worse than mid-division, closing in on the third. Control Man led at that one. Watching the rest go over it safely, held up in the pale blue jacket Eurotrek from Glen Warrior, and the anchor firmly down for both Dead-Eye Dick and Joachi as they encounter the first of the ditches. Control Man reached for it, mistake by Victory Gunner, sluggish through the air. It's a short run to the next, the last of the line up the side. And rising at this one, Control Man a bit awkward on landing, headed by Granite d'Estrevale. Crystal Dane prominent, Double Honour right behind them as they turn up the hill on the first occasion. Shardam slotting into about 5th position towards the inside of Arctic Jack. And then Victory Gunner from Eurotrek, so Rembrandt in the red and yellow jacket down the inside. Dead-Eye Dick's out wide. And then Joachi with a couple behind. Glen Warrior is one of them, and Kitten Cat, one of the 2 12-year-olds in the race, and the only mare in the field now looking on under Tom Scudamore. Free wheel downhill for a few strides, and Control Man regaining the initiative from Granite d'Estrevale and Crystal Dane. These 3 still vying for an early initiative. As they head towards the end of the first mile, they're tracked by Double Honour, who ran such a great race in this corresponding event 12 months ago, finishing 3rd. Arctic Jack, just behind Double Honour at Haydock last time. He's in 5th position on turning to Shardam, and the pale blue jacket of Eurotrek from Sir Rembrandt. The Victory Gunner next from Dead-Eye Dick Joachi, matching strides. And towards the back of the field, still held up Kitten Cat, and just in front of that mare is Glen Warrior. First of a line of 5 down the back straight, then coming up to them, fence 6 in total. And Control Man with a narrow lead to Crystal Dane, slightly out to the right, watching the rest of the field over safely. Kitten Cat the last to land. Now another open ditch coming up to them. Control Man with the grey moving up. Double Honour, Granite d'Estrevale jumping out to the right. Dead-Eye Dick has gone and has brought down Joachi. Dead-Eye Dick's a faller and Joachi has been brought down. So 2 of the big players are out of the race. Looking back, both horses appear to be getting up. Certainly Timmy Murphy up on his feet as well, but drama there with Dead-Eye Dick and Joachi both casualties. And Control Man leads a reduced field here to Crystal Dane. Kitten Cat's getting a bit remote. Timmy Murphy standing up and just wondering probably what exactly happened. He wouldn't have seen much of the fall of Dead-Eye Dick in front of him. So 5 fences down the back straight behind them, and the remainder begin the turn to complete a circuit. Control Man in front then from Crystal Dane on the outside of Double Honour. And then Shardam in 4th. Eurotrek is a couple of lengths away in 5th. Arctic Jack is towards his outside. And then Sir Rembrandt down the inner as they turn inside the last 2 miles. Granite d'Estrevale has been steadily losing ground down the back straight. Reminders for Arctic Jack. Glen Warrior's further back with Victory Gunner, who's a real hard ride. He takes plenty of driving. And Kitten Cat's in rear. So up towards the fence, which becomes the last in a circuit's time in this Totesport Classic. And Control Man in the red headgear alongside the grey Double Honour. Near side yellow jacket of Crystal Dane, followed over by Shardam and Arctic Jack, and a patient ride from Ruby Walsh on Eurotrek in the light blue. Sir Rembrandt, Andrew Thornton next the inside, and then Victory Gunner races wide of Glen Warrior as Control Man leads them past the judge. Granite d'Estrevale is just about in touch, but there's a fairly wide break back in the field to Kitten Cat as they set out on their final circuit. And the red head bobbing away, Control Man and Andrew Glastonbury by a length and a half to Crystal Dane. Double Honour and Richard Johnson close up as they turn to face fence 13. The first taken down the side. These 3 fences come quickly. Control Man was in close from Crystal Dane. Double Honour. Arctic Jack the next over at the back of the field. Granite d'Estrevale is calling it a day and has been pulled up before that 13th. So now to another open ditch. Control Man, Crystal Dane, both jumping well out in front, watching the main body of the field get over it. Kitten Cat continuing, but is completely tailed off. as they move up towards another one, the 15th. Control Man by a length to Crystal Dane. There's a 3 or 4 length break then to Arctic Jack down the inside, the maroon sleeves of Shardam. Eurotrek getting closer now in 5th place. Shake of the reins for Sir Rembrandt, who's in 6th. And then further back to Glen Warrior. And behind Glen Warrior, among the stragglers, Victory Gunner. Double Honour's dropped the bit firmly going up the side. He's hit a real flat spot, Double Honour, and he's been driven for all he's worth as they begin to breast the rise and now start the run downhill. Still got over a mile to cover in the Totesport Classic. Plenty of jumping left in the race. Control Man narrowly to Crystal Dane, and these two piling on the pressure here. They're about 4 lengths clear. Eurotrek's out a little wider from the rail, going in search of better ground. Is probably just about up into 3rd now from Arctic Jack driven along. So too Sir Rembrandt. Glen Warrior is further back, and they're really beginning to stretch themselves out now. Stamina to the fore as they start down the back for the final time in this line of 5 fences that await them. And it's Control Man and Andrew Glasson, rear length clear to Crystal Dane. Robert Thornton, a 5-length break then to Eurotrek and Ruby Walsh closing. Reminders for Sir Rembrandt in 4th, now hard ridden. Further back is Arctic Jack from Glen Warrior, Double Honour, Shardam on the retreat, and then Victory Gunner. This is 7 from the finish. Control Man, a slight nod on landing, but over safely enough from Crystal Dane. Eurotrek still closing to them as they go now to the final open ditch, 6 out. The scene of so much drama on the first circuit. Control Man in front from Crystal Dane, but Eurotrek getting ever closer, inching his way towards the lead as they go to the middle one down the back, 5 from home. Control Man big and bold from Crystal Dane, Eurotrek. Sir Rembrandt's in touch in 4th, then Glen Warrior. The striped cap from Arctic Jack, further back Double Honour, going towards 4 out. Control Man, great leap. Eurotrek jumped his way into 2nd, yet to be popped the question. Absolutely swinging away. Crystal Dane shaken up in 3rd. This is the last down the back. Control Man by only a length, and Eurotrek now cruising up to his quarters. Crystal Dane is getting left behind in 3rd. Sir Rembrandt seemingly can muster only the 1 pace in 4th, and Eurotrek ranges upsides a hard-ridden Control Man as they pour it on round in the final corner. There are still 3 furlongs to travel, 2 to jump in the straight in the Totesport Classic, but Eurotrek comes to eyeball Control Man. The pair have drawn 6 lengths clear of Crystal Dane, and then Sir Rembrandt. Eurotrek on the near side, comes down towards 2 out, takes over from Control Man. Good jump from Eurotrek, stretching on now between the final 2 fences. Control Man, it's been a great effort in 2nd, but he can battle on at only the 1 pace, and Eurotrek's bounding away. Here's the last. Great leap from Eurotrek, met it spot on, barely touched a twig. Control Man over in 2nd, Crystal Dane battling it out for 3rd with Sir Rembrandt, but Eurotrek driven clear by Ruby Walsh for Paul Green and Paul Nicholls, simply far too good, and bounds away to win the Totesport Classic. Eurotrek in front, a long gap to the remainder. 2nd place, that's going to go to Sir Rembrandt. Control Man home in 3rd, Crystal Dane for 4th.
Well, the Paul Nicholls bandwagon just rolls on relentlessly as Eurotrek lifts another Saturday big prize for the stable at 6 to 1 in the colours of Paul Green, and another winner for Ruby Walsh. It was 15 lengths back to the staying on Sir Rembrandt at 10 to 1. Same price Control Man in 3rd, and all 13.